Hey guys, welcome back to another question of the week. This week we're talking about where is God when tragedy strikes? Um, well, the real simple answer to that, if you don't want to listen any more than 10 seconds, is he's right where he's always been. Um, we have to look all the way back at the beginning to talk about where was God when tragedy struck first. We go all the way back to the book of Genesis. We look at creation and that kind of thing. Um, when we look at that, God created a paradise for us. Adam and Eve were born into the Garden of Eden. It was perfect. They literally had everything. They didn't have to work for the food. They just sat around naming animals and talking to God. I mean, it was amazing. And then we screwed it up. Pretty much what we did is we sinned against God. And God can't be around sin, and so we had to be separated from Him. And so we got punished and we had to work the land to get our food from that point on. And women would not enjoy childbirth from then on. And there's just a lot of different things that we did. We screwed up the perfect world that God gave us. But I know a lot of people are thinking, well, okay, so he gives a good world, but why would he allow different things? Like, why would he allow the earthquake in Haiti to happen? I mean, those people weren't around when the original sin happened and all that kind of good stuff. And I understand that. We did screw it up, but why would God, allow something like that to happen? Well, I mean, we can even look at Jesus dying on the cross, and a lot of people would say, that's God's son. Why would God allow His own son to die on a cross like that? He didn't deserve that, but I thank God that He allowed Him to die on that cross and take that beating from me, because of that, I can spend an eternity in heaven. There's lots of different stories that we could look at. We could say, Job. Job literally lost everything. He was a rich dude. He believed in God. He honored God in all that he did. And God even said, Satan was hovering over the earth, and God was like, hey, check out my boy Job. He really honors me in everything that he does. And so Satan, tested him and literally killed his entire family off, took away every possession that he had, even made him sick. And God, God eventually brought Job back and restored everything. But Job still didn't, curse God. He still loved God. He understood that, God gives me these good things, but I can't complain when He does something bad. I can't complain when tragedy strikes. I understand that God is still in control. And after a while, after Job endured that, God, he had a bigger family after that. He had twice as much property and twice as many livestock. God restored all that stuff that Job brought back. And we look at that story and we think, how could God allow that to happen? Well, we look back at that story, and people have for thousands of years, and talking about how God is still there even when tragedy strikes. Even when Job was going through all that, God was still there. I can talk about my own life. When I was in a relationship for 4 years and tragedy struck me, when I found out this girl was cheating on me, and I felt like that I was so depressed I didn't have a reason to live, and God was there for me. It was a bad thing that I did to myself. I could say, well, God, why did you allow that to happen? Well, honestly, I wasn't listening to God, and that's what happens for most of our tragedies that we bring on ourselves. But God turned that into a good thing. And so that happens more times than we'd like to admit. But getting back to the whole idea of the earthquake in Haiti, I honestly I'm not God, so I don't know why God allowed that to happen. I don't see the big picture like God does. This is what I do know. I do know that God can take a bad thing, God can take a tragedy, and make it into something that's good, something that's needed. Just for an example, with Haiti, I know it was the poorest country in the Western world, and it was pretty much being ignored. When that tragedy struck, tons and tons of people were looking to help and still are. Now I'm not saying that earthquake is a good thing. I don't think that that's something that we say, yay, earthquake or anything like that. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I'm saying something as tragic as that God can use that as a good thing. He can turn that around, and who knows? Maybe people will in Haiti will know about God because the earthquake brought in help, something that they needed. So basically, the long and short answer is, where is God when tragedy strikes? He's right where he was. A lot of times when tragedy strikes, it diverts our attention back to him. And that's what we need a lot of times. So the tragedy itself isn't a good thing, but a lot of times the results of the tragedy bring us back to God, and it's exactly what we need. So I hope that helps. If it doesn't, if it just raises more questions, then post them up down there, and let's talk about it. So love hearing from you guys. Talk to you soon.